Empowering Single Mothers. I'm your host, Liza Magcale, and with me today, I've got Nana Jokura, best-selling international author of Your Healthy Success. This is available on Amazon. She is not only the author of this #1 selling book, but she's also an abundance mentor, developer of the Your Healthy Success program, as well as a single mom. So I've invited her to come and talk to us about empowering single mothers from her perspective. So welcome, Nana.
Oh, thanks so much, Lisa. I love being here. Always great to chat with you.
Thank you, thank you. So talk to us a little bit about your experience as a single mom, or how you became to becoming a single mom, and let's just start there because everybody has a story.
Yeah, right. Well, there was an interesting moment that made it very clear that this was not the best fit for myself or my partner at the time. So we split amicably. And everything that I thought was going to be in a certain way was no longer, as I'm sure you can relate to, many people can relate to. So it really shook things up in a big way. I found myself really having one of those back against the wall kind of moments. I can remember being in my bedroom on the hardwood floor, just beside the mirror, and I really was just like at at the wall and feeling like, what have I got myself into? My relationship was ending. My health was not great because I was so stressed. My business was not making, I wasn't replacing that second income fast enough. And I had made the decision to keep my office clinic building and keep the house. And somehow I was going to figure it all out, and I wasn't. So the only good thing in all of that mess was my relationship with my daughter, who's 13 now. She's much younger then. And so it's been such an interesting journey, because with that back against the wall moment, I really felt like, okay, I'm the backup plan. I don't have parents who are going to bail me out. I don't have anyone who's going to come and rescue me. This is me. And I had one of those moments where I really swallowed a bitter pill, which was, I created this. I created the situation that I'm in. And if I'm going to get myself out of it, I have to take full responsibility. So I think a significant part of my learning and the gifts of being a single mom really started there, in like one of the darkest chapters of my life, and really being able to turn it into one of the best, where, how you assume, people just assume, okay, well, if you split up, then your standard of living goes down. And I was like, I am not going to repeat that cycle. My mom was a single mom. There were 3 kids, and I was like, that is not the life I'm going to set up for myself and my daughter. So I made this very conscious decision to just elevate myself, as much as I could. And in a lot of ways, we're living much more abundantly now than we were when we were partnered. So it's been a very interesting journey. A lot of forgiveness, a lot of love, a lot of gratitude for all of it. I don't think I would have changed any of it.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I think
Yeah.
definitely a sign of evolution when you can be grateful for the good, the bad, and the ugly, and also the advancement of knowing that it's in those darkest times that we actually stretch and grow the most. Um, the other interesting part is I find that you also touched on your mom was a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's a group of people in this particular audience that are about empowering single mothers because they know of a single mom, they're
Mm-hmm.
a child from a single mom, or they feel like a single mom, even though they might have a partner, right? And so, in my case, I will say that at one point, I think I was so fixated on not becoming a single mom. That thought was so powerful that I became a single mom because I was thinking about the single mom. Um, and so now that I am in a single mom status, and I also have been here for a while now, I'm very clear as to what my whys are. And even though my parents were married and my mother passed away, and my father became widowed, I know for a period of time she did feel like she was on her own. And
Mhm.
and while we do feel like that, I want to be really clear. We have had and we continue to have tremendous support systems within our family and our friends. And even though, yes, both of my parents have passed, um, you do figure it out when you make that. I think we had discussed this earlier about a committed decision to provide and to be and to expand. And so, like I said, my mother, I know at some point felt that she was managing the three children on her own. I know for me, I feel like I have her all the time, which I have no problem with. And thankfully, I do have family and friends where if I need a day or a night or a couple of days, or if I have to take a trip somewhere, that she is comfortable in her circle of love. Talk to me a little bit about your mother and being raised by really a single mom, and the story that you created, and like you were very adamant, I'm not going to do the same thing. So
Mhm.
there's already a belief there, and then what have you created, and what is your hope for the future, like with your daughter, to understand the dynamics? So what do you hope that she takes away from watching you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought I was never going to get married. Right? I just thought, what's the point? This is me as a child. And then I grew up and thought, oh, that sounds like a really nice romantic idea. And we were together for a good 10 years. So I did enjoy a lot of the fruits of a committed partnership like that. With my mom, she really was on her own, and it was there was abuse, and um, it was a really good thing for her to release us from that relationship. And I remember the day she moved us out, we had no idea what was happening. And I just felt this relief in my body that, oh, okay, this is a new chapter in all of our lives. So it was definitely a mixed experience, but positive. And then, I mean, we didn't really know any different, right? From when I was about 10 growing up, through the teenage years. So now looking back, as a mom, as an adult, I could see, oh my goodness, this woman single-handedly, she went back to school, put herself through school, and we were living in small apartments with the three of us, with noise and TV blaring, and she's at the dining room table, which is just like a few feet away from the TV. And she's doing her studies, and she's like getting herself out of that situation for us. And I mean, there was a lot of stressors and unhealthy patterns for sure of complaining, but she did the best she could with what she had. Um, and so when she passed away at age 54, from not very good health and broke, basically, that really spurred me into becoming a naturopathic doctor, and a total career change from music into medicine and to helping people, which is I'm helping people in a different capacity now as a consultant, but same core desire to help. And I remember I was sitting in my daughter's dance recital. So she was quite young at the time. She was in one piece, right? And all these little girls dressed up in their costumes. Many of her friends were in like multiple, right? Their parents could afford it. We were going through the separation, so somehow we figured out how we could put her into one class a week, and that was her like extracurricular activity, this dance class. And ever since she was like 2 or 3 years old, she was like, Mom, I want to be a dancer, I want to be a dancer. That's it. That's all she wanted to be. And so I'm sitting there feeling really happy that she gets to be in this one 5-minute piece, and also crying because I knew that if I didn't change something, I wouldn't be able to afford her the opportunities to actually pursue it on a more serious, committed level. And I was crying because I was happy to see how beautiful she was on stage, but also because like I'm kind of repeating the same cycle of like lack, right? Of like the scarcity of everything feeling so tight and hard. And I was like, I had this like breakthrough moment. It was cathartic for me because I was like, this is it. The cycle ends. This stops now. Like this, I'm not going to perpetuate struggle and show my daughter that it's like, being a single parent is full of hardship and struggle and being broke. And, so it was incredible what happened the year that followed. Things just exploded in my business, and she wanted to take more dance classes. So I was like, okay. I mean, Lisa, it was, there was a lot of driving to dance classes. It was like 4 days a week, 7 hours a week. Like it was a different kind of intensity, but she loved it. I loved, being able to provide that for her, but it was really, I think it was impactful, right? For both me and for my daughter to experience that it doesn't have to mean, okay, it doesn't automatically mean, okay, well, you're a single parent, then life is horrible and it sucks and you're complaining all the time and it's lack and scarcity. Like, I feel like, I mean, if we don't model it for our kids, no, like they're not gonna pick up what we say, but what we do and how we show up. So I think I've been modeling a different experience for her. So I like that. I like where we are and where we're going.
I would say the same. It has changed a lot. So in my case, we actually separated twice. One when she was, I'm going to say from like 1 to 3, and then again from 7 to 11 to present. And so um, in my case, it was challenging the first time, and then we overcame, and then it was challenging again, and then we've overcome, and it's a different lesson now, I think, that is being taught. It really is, and I'm going to touch on your program just so that we can cover some of it. And it is the principles of self-care and being healthy, number one, above anything. So both of us having lost our mothers in particular to illness, where I think you and I, even though we haven't openly discussed this, but would you agree that how one takes care of themselves has a direct correlation to susceptibility of terminal illness? Um, and so that is the concern. I don't care if I say this, but I'm hesitant, so maybe I won't say it. I do care where we live, right? I do care where we live. I understand, though, that above that is our health is the most important. And so prioritizing in that order, we have really healed. Um, we have released a lot of the struggle or the emotional baggage of the struggle, and we are focused on well-being. And so that I'm proud of for us to demonstrate, what a healthy, successful single parent situation looks like. So for the audience, not just the story of, how we came to be here and how we are choosing consciously to model to our children. You've developed a program that I think um, people really need to know about, because as a single mother, is what I will say I know for sure with all of my single mother friends, is at some point, if not all the time, we are at the bottom of a list that we never get to the bottom of. And if there's one thing that I would like to impress on this particular audience is the importance of self-care and the expectation of things to get better as a result of doing that work. And
Yeah.
so I'm gonna hold up your book, really, as much as you want to share, what are some takeaways for single mothers in particular in this space of always at the bottom of the list? We never get to the bottom of the list. And I don't mean, like I said, single mothers that don't have a partner. I'm just talking, this is general, right? Everybody knows a single mom. Everybody knows a single mom that could benefit
Yeah,
from something like
totally.
this.
I mean, we've got to treat ourselves well, right? That was one of the major gifts. I'm so grateful to my ex-partner for this, highlighting that is that I cannot expect him or anyone outside of me to treat me better than I would treat myself. I've got to give myself that love, that encouragement, right? It can't solely come from someone else, especially when I'm not giving it to myself. So the idea of pouring into your own cup, right? So that you're overflowing with great health and energy and vitality and abundance and money. And then you get to pour into your families, your children, your loved ones, communities, because it starts with you, right? And if you're not taking care of you, well, then the whole the whole cascade is broken, or it's just not as well as it could be. So that would be the number one thing, and it's like, and you will have moments where it feels scary or uncomfortable to do that, to be like, oh my gosh, can I really do that? You might be filled with like mom or parent guilt, and like, feel like you're torn, but you've got to take a stand, and you have to tell yourself that I'm going to give you, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you permission that it's okay to invest in yourself and your well-being and your self-care, because you have to. It's a matter of survival at the base level, and then thriving for you and your family, right? Because you don't want to demonstrate for your kids that as a parent you're not valuable enough, right? You want to demonstrate that you are worthy of that care, that time, that love, that nurturing, that health. And then they will model that for if they choose to have wonderful kids as well. So it will feel uncomfortable. I mean, I remember those moments of like leaving my daughter with a babysitter for the first time. And I'm like, oh no, am I being a bad mom? But no, you're being a really good mom, right? Like to set boundaries and get those things in place, because then when you do show up, you're going to be so much more present and happy, and all those good things, just healthy. Like you will be there, right? I'm not sad often, but I have my moments where it's like, oh, my mom has never seen her grandkids. Well, if I have any say about that, and if that's in the cards, I'm going to do everything I can to promote my own health and well-being and quality of life, and ideally quantity, right? And I'm just getting younger and younger, so that's what I tell
I'm
myself.
right there with you, practicing the same principles, practicing
Right?
the same
And
principles.
it's
Yeah.
just great. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a state of mind. I really do thank everyone that has been on this journey of, you know, I want to say healing, and then I also want to say turning back the hands of time. The truth is, just for the gift of the present, yourself included. I've had more time with you over the last few months than I've had in the entire year and that we've known one another. So it's been really great. I'm really glad that you agreed to speak to empowering single mothers, because there are not a lot of single moms that have an abundance mindset because of potentially the things that have happened. And my hope again is for people to have access to things that they would not normally have access to, simply by sharing it and making it available. So I know that you do have a program. Do you want to just sort of share very quickly how people can reach you? And we will make sure to put up the information in the text of the post, and also a card at the end will show everything to reach you. But just verbally, for those who are listening, what is the program? Where do they get set up?
Yeah, so your Healthy Success program is basically the implementation roadmap to getting those ideas in the book into your real life, so that you're actually living them. So it's not just ideas sitting on a shelf somewhere, where you're procrastinating or don't know how to get it really done. I'm going to walk you through every single chapter so that you do get it done, so that you're going to understand your purpose of why you're here, and to design the beautiful vision of the life you want to create, right? And then to stack every single day with daily power disciplines that are going to empower you, so that you keep getting closer and closer to that ideal life, right? So it's not just some thing that you write in a journal or stick on a vision board and then you're done with it. You're actually going to be moving in that direction every single day. And just you making that decision to move in that direction every day means that you are a success, right? And then in the process, you're obviously enjoying, hopefully, obviously enjoying the journey of getting there. As you start to feel more confident in who you are, you're going to be building up your self-image and self-esteem. Like, I didn't even realize how low my self-esteem had gotten until I started rebuilding my confidence, rebuilding my life. And so that was a huge gift in the whole experience. So now, instead of living in a two bedroom, one bathroom small house, we have 3 bathrooms, and there's no way my daughter and I are going to ever use 3 bathrooms at the same time. But it's one of those things I kind of laugh at, because here we are, like, I'm finding myself in this very abundant place, and I have so much. I feel like my cup is overflowing, right? So I can really give to you. I can give to this conversation. I can give to my daughter. And if that's the life that you envision for yourself, then just go ahead and reach out, connect. We have a free community Facebook group called Your Healthy Success. You can join that. There's a lot of free trainings that I do. And then if you really want to just jump on board and get this done, come on in and into the program, and I'll walk you through. I'll walk you through that process so that you have me in your corner, right? Like, that's one of the biggest that in the early days, the biggest challenge was, like, I just felt so isolated. Like, who can relate? And I wasn't relating to my friends who weren't in this situation, who weren't parents, or who weren't, single parenting, or who weren't maybe even a business owner, right? So I had all those going on. And
Right.
so just to connect with you, Lisa, it was so refreshing. It was like, oh, here's another successful single mom. We just totally connected on so many levels. So just come on over. Yeah, get the book. Just like, let's just saturate your awareness so that you're just coming from a totally different mindset, where over 95% of your results really come from. Like, we're getting to the root cause of all your external circumstances and results and all of it, relationship, health, money, all of it. It starts at the mindset level. So
Yeah, I love it. Thanks, Nana. Well, for all of you that are listening, like she said, her book is available on Amazon. We're talking about, you know, your healthy success and this abundant mindset, and we're sharing stories about our experience as single moms. And so I just want to get back to that really quick, just so people can relate that despite our successes in other areas, we still have overcome, I'm sure, what people can relate to. And I'll kick off with most of the women in my family, very strong, very independent. So while not single parents, they operated on their own. So even though they were, and they could have been estranged even, they still operated on their own. So all I know from both sides of my family is women run things at home.
mm-hmm.
They're in charge of the children, they're in charge of everything. And whether there was a man there or not, all women, both sides did it. So I didn't know any different. Whether they had money, whether they didn't have money, they were the shot callers inside the home at all times. So I think that really does give you a skewed way of being that could potentially have even led to becoming a single parent, and how cognizant I have to be in order to make sure that Celeste sees healthy engagement, right? Like that type of healthy interaction where it's not, a certain way that creates an issue. Do you have any similar sort of insights on the perception of single motherhood and how one can pivot? Like, I know you've got a ton of stories. That's why I'm like, share one more.
Right. So the overfunctioning aspect, like, that's what you're talking about, right? Like that overfunctioning. So everything is neutral. I believe everything is neutral, from a pen to a glass of water to any experience or person, because there's both good and bad within that thing. or experience. And so when it comes to that strong, independent female energy, to getting things done, that can be definitely a source of strength, but then it can become a weakness if it's like way over expressed, right? Because it can lead to burnout or all these things. So as I was growing and building, it's funny because I'll tell some friends, you know what? I'm just taking a sabbatical from cooking. I've been cooking all my life as a little kid. I also did some babysitting and nannying. I cooked. I've been cooking all my life, and so I think I'm going to just take a break. I'll take a sabbatical from it. So I've hired this amazing company to deliver food for me that's relatively healthy, and it's right there. So I get to enjoy time doing other things that I would much more rather do. And I enjoy cooking, but not as much as I enjoy talking to you right now, right? So I'd much rather talk to you than to be
Me too.
cooking, cleaning, right? So
Me
I've delegated that, and I guess I'm sharing, and then like delegated some cleaning, and I have an amazing woman helping me and supporting me there. So um, as a single parent, single mom, I think it's okay. It's very okay to ask for help and then receive it, right? Like receiving is a feminine quality. That action and the doing, that's actually the masculine part of us
Right.
that can leads to burnout and overfunctioning. So just balancing that within ourselves, and you'll probably start to feel a lot lighter. You'll probably visibly look younger, and just like you'll start to become attractive to like all these opportunities to whatever it is, right? Whatever you want to call into your life. Was that a story? My story of being on a sabbatical from cooking?
No, it's been great. It's been great. I don't know if there are any other questions I have. Like, we've talked about what you do, the mindset. We've also talked about your own personal experience, how you got there. And I used to ask, what does the term single mother mean to you? But I feel like it just is with you. It's not like it's neutral, like you said.
Yeah, you're right. I don't really love labels of diagnoses, labels of, I don't know, type of person you are. I don't. Yeah, I love that you picked that up because I'm really moving into a place where we're all so connected and integrated, right? That we've got to see ourselves. Well, we don't have to, but I choose to see how I'm connected with you versus what are the differences and what separates us, right? Oh, well, there's partnered and single, or there's man or woman, or there's, like the more labels we set up, it's like they're barriers
Yeah.
for connecting and just living and experiencing. So yeah, that's I guess I'm in. It's a it's a descriptor. That's the state and that's the chapter I am in my life right now, and it's a dynamic, fluid thing. So I I'm just good.
No, I love it. I think that's
Yeah.
definitely one of our things where we connect is we definitely understand flow.
Yeah.
And we understand surrender. We understand the work that's required. And in this message to the audience today is be encouraged. There are definitely principles and programs that you can anchor yourself with to progressively shift from one state to the other. And I think I'm so grateful that you actually had time and space to do this today,
Mhm.
at least to share with people the resources that you have that might support them transcending. And whether it's the book or the online resources or the Facebook group or subscribing to one of your programs for implementation. I think it's really awesome how you're showing up, and continued success to you and your healthy success, Nana. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much, Liza. I think I'll wrap up and end with the idea that struggle, overwhelm is a choice. That is a choice. Scarcity, that is a choice. So if that's a choice, then what's the opposite, right? Abundance and flow and ease, that's also a choice. And it sounds like a simple idea right now as I'm saying it. And if anybody is resonating with that and wants help in to actually implement and live that way, then just reach out.
Reach out.
Reach
Yeah.
out. Yeah, get help, ask for help and receive it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you, Nana. I'm going to hold up your book one more time so people know what they're looking for. Again, available on Amazon. We'll put up the information to reach her at the bottom in the descriptors. Nana, thanks again for your time,
Mm.
our audience.
Thank you, Liza. Thank you for showing up. Love it.
Thanks. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again next week. Bye for now.